Hi everybody. I hope everyone has enjoyed their weekend and whatnot. Girl's been a little bit, crazy, delayed with schedules. Again, I apologize for one of my earlier videos being a little bit more delayed than usual. Apologies. Physically, mentally, just tired, exhausted, you know how it is. Luckily, I was able to finish it and post it on the same day. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Anyways, today we're gonna be reading Yandere Slasher's ex-listener up in here. I'm super excited for this. Because y'all know how this is my favorite book. Fanfiction, y'all know how it is. No hate, no shade. Also, before we get straight into the recap, I have been hearing out y'all requests and everything about Mikael, and I even recently got one about Yandere Jane the Killer one-shots. I will get to those as soon as possible, probably even about the time when I post this as well. So we'll see, and if you guys have even more requests, comment them down below. Anywho, let's get straight into the recap.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
So, basically, what I remember is basically after we kind of hung out, not really hung out, after we got approval of the bubble bath or whatever that we were wanting to ask for from Hannibal and whatnot, and we were left alone in the bathtub. So basically, we were chilling, we were feeling relaxed, overthinking a little bit, kind of like me, relatable. And all of a sudden, Freddy comes up and he's like talking to her. You know how he is, being a sly little bitch. And then then she realizes later into the conversation that she fell asleep. She gets mad at him and be like, "Wake me up this instant, right now! I need to go home. I'm trying to relax." And blah 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 blah. And he just obviously can't comprehend certain things, so he's like, "Oh my god, blah, 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 stop bitching, blah, blah, blah." So eventually he lets her wake up, he makes her wake up, and she's like, annoyed, gets out of the shower. As soon as she opens the door, Mikael just is right there, right in front of the door, and she's like, whoa. And then Mikael's like, "Please, can I watch you sleep at night? I'm just smelling you." And then he's like, "Oh, I'll go get you some Hyposil pills so you can relax, and then a glass of water or whatever, just make it a deal." And she's like, "Fine, but don't do anything weird." And as we remember earlier, Norman is also in the bedroom sleeping with her, not like that, but sleeping by each other, it's like kind of like that. And so basically, we ended up, staying there all together. She takes the Hyposil pills, talks with Norman before going to bed. Later on, she got woken up by Norman crying and stuff like that from a nightmare that Freddy has been giving him like every single night. We try to give him a baby, not a baby, what am I saying? We try to give him like a nighttime song to like relax him and whatnot, and be like, "Hey, this isn't real, you'll be okay." Then he wakes up crying and tugging for our comfort, and then we had to convince Mikael to get him some Hyposil pills and a glass of water because he don't give a shit. And you had to make him give a shit. So you promised it. We promised him a certain thing. Then Norman was upset, but was thankful in the end, I believe. And they ended up taking it. We had to stay up for a whole hour with him late at night because the medicine won't kick in until an hour. They both ended up falling asleep. Blah 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 blah. Next morning, she basically Mikael wakes her up early in the morning because she's like, we're about to miss class. And then she runs up, gets up, and Norman's really appalled and really upset that we have to go to class. And then we had to set a boundary saying like, "Hey, you can't do that. I have shit to do. I got a life. It doesn't revolve around you 24/7, Norman." And yeah, that's what basically happened. He got set but understood in the end, with Mikael making a little bit aggression. And yeah, now we're on our way to class. We meet up with our friends, get updates on our friends if they're okay or not. One is still in healing or checking to be healed or something like that. And then they now plan on a girls' night out. That was very insanely long. This is probably the longest recap I've ever done. But it's the end of the recap. Anyways, ladies and gents, let's get straight into it. Also, we is in chapter 55, back to class. Now, back to what we were discussing. The professor turned back toward the projector and flicked to the next slide. Not only do mental characteristics of a person's mind control their thoughts and behavior, it also influences their emotions and their communication skills. She addressed the entire class, and you flicked open your notebook, wanting to jot down notes. So, Rose, you whispered to the girl who sat in front of you quietly, not wanting to disrupt the class. Do you know what I've missed the last couple days? Why people grow depressed and how to help them overcome it? Rose helpfully answered. Along with preventing stress and stopping anxiety. I think that was it. Girl, you should have been for those classes. You definitely needed that. Thanks, Rose. You thanked her in immense relief. I really owe you one. The class carried on, you continuing to take down notes and pay attention to everything you were learning. You wanted to become a psychologist and make it your profession. So, why wouldn't you focus? To you, it was immensely interesting, learning about how people think and how to help them with different types of problems. Now, since your seat was right next to the window, you could always see things out of your peripheral vision, whether you wanted to or not. Usually you only saw things like birds fluttering in and out of the trees, or other people walking to their classes. But of course, today you noticed Mikael. Suppressing an eye roll, you force yourself to study the subject at hand, jotting down important things and trying your best to learn everything new. At some point, though, you'd also have to teach yourself what you missed. So you'd probably properly catch up and not fall so far behind, because, at the moment, you weren't exactly on the same level as your fellow classmates. But it's not like you couldn't catch up or anything. You'd just never really fallen behind like this before, so you shook your head and carried on with what your professor was saying, not wanting to fall any more behind than you already were. You're going to find immensely behind as soon as we continue these chapters. Your pen furiously scratched against the paper, almost as if it was on fire, as you focused on the subject at hand. The topic was helping people overcome depression. Funny how the dark issue kept popping up, no matter wherever you went. You felt it when being forced to switch houses. You felt it when you wanted to excuse my English, when making sure your mother was properly protected, and you felt it when your freedom was ripped away from you in the very beginning. Of course, it was handed back to you by Hannibal, but still, that doesn't change the fact that it was taken in the first place. Then why? Why do you care so much? About Norman and his nightmares? About Hannibal, Jason, Mikael, even Freddy, despite his aggravating antics? Just what was happening here? Your head clouded with conflicting thoughts, clashing and colliding against each other relentlessly, whilst they hurt not only your head, but your heart as well. It thumped unevenly, the fluttering beats causing your pen to stop moving. This wasn't good. You had to focus. You had to pay attention. Flashing another quick peek at Mikael, your attention span faltered, your mind feeling like it was being yanked towards the slashers. Without even realizing you were twirling your pen around with your fingers, feeling trapped. Why did you feel so relaxed around them? What was it? Dating all five. It felt like some sort of fanfic. Funny enough, you are in one. almost unreal. Ugh. Focus, focus, focus. Your pen scribbled once again as you listened to your psychology teacher, not wanting to seem like you weren't interested. Still though, even if you could be happy with living with Hannibal and the others, would it be right? After all, Weren't you merely an offering to appease them? Why were they so attached to you? Perhaps loneliness. Because to be shunned by society, to be isolated from everyone else, it would make you feel cut off, wouldn't it? Hannibal, Miguel, Norman, Jason, even Freddy. It doesn't seem like any of them would share their real feelings. Except Jason and Norman. Probably. They all seem so good at bottling up how they feel. They probably never shared how they felt with you. Especially since you're nothing but an ordinary girl, who also happened to be a... Hey! You flinched as Amber smacked you lightly over the head with her notebook, an aspiration expression lingering her face. What the hell was that for? You retorted in a surprised voice, confused by her random attack on your distracted thoughts. Well, I tried calling your name, but after millions and millions of times, that didn't seem to work. She smirked, sitting on the edge of your desk and looking amused. Besides, this way was much funnier. You tried once, Amb. Candace sighed and shook her head, a small smile spreading across her face due to Amber's childish behavior. You just wanted to abuse me. You complained fake miserably, giggling a little a split second later to show you weren't serious. What did you want anyway? Well, if Laura's almost healed, why don't you go and visit her? Excuse me, why don't we go and visit her? Amber recommended warmly, hugging her books close to her chest as if she spoke about her absent friend. Wait, but now? You panicked, suddenly remembering your promise to Miguel. Why not? Miguel, if you do this for me, and then basically this is whenever she basically quote unquote convinced him to get more Hypocil pills and a glass of water for Norman. Because, man, again, as I mentioned, do not give a fuck. You gotta make him give a fuck. So, yeah. Anyway. Yeah? Amber answered you bluntly, frowning and confusing due to how anxious you unexplainably were. No time like the present, right? Candace chipped in cheerfully, holding her bag strap as the three of you became the last students in the classroom. I'm sorry, girls. I wish I could, but... Oh, come on. What could be possibly more important than seeing your best friend? Or ex-best friend. Amber demanded to know about once. Obviously feeling a little bit betrayed by your indirect backstab. Is moving houses that tedious of a task to do? Oh, yeah, crap. Well, let's just say I've been busy moving houses. And then basically, this is the flashback to where they were talking about, like, oh, you moved houses? And they're like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Anyway. Not really, but, you tried desperately to come up with a quick excuse, stiffling up while you grabbing your bag. I've been putting it off, and my roommates are super irritated with me because I haven't unpacked yet. Seriously? Amber eyed you with a raised eyebrow and a stern gaze, clearly not buying it, but Candace, on the other hand... Let's go, drama queen. She pulled Amber away from your desk by the wrist and tugged her towards the classroom door. You heard her. She's busy. We can all visit Laura another time, right? Stop pestering her. Thanks, Cads. You mouthed to her gratefully, the blonde-haired girl shooting you a warm smile in return before literally dragging Amber out of the room and into the hallway. That would have made me a little bit suspicious if I was Amber. Stifling a sigh of your own, you hoisted your bag onto your shoulder and left the classroom last. Completely by yourself until you bumped into someone. Honestly, your full attention was focused on nothing but the floor. I'm so sorry. I swear I didn't mean to bump into you on purpose. I wasn't paying attention. You paused your alarmed apology. You paused your alarmed apology when you noticed that was no one other than familiar stalker standing out there waiting for you. A faint blush coloring your cheeks once you realized who it was. Didn't I tell you to stalk and wait for me outside? You scolded him with a slight stutter, definitely flustered by his appearance inside the university. And then basically this is her saying that, like, hey, when we're gonna spend the day together, I'm gonna go to my class, whatever, stay outside, stay out of sight, and stalk me from a distance. Long story short. I'm going to make that very, very short. And then Seems like your strict warning didn't really have much of an effect, now did it? Yeah. Anyway, you timidly muttered and deciding to let it go, hating how your heartbeat had already begun to speed up. You agreed to hang out with me after class ended, so what you want to do? Do you have any ideas? Mika shook his head and you literally facepalmed, feeling a tad frustrated. So you wanted me to hang out with you, but didn't have anything planned? You groaned irritably, giving him a tiny glare and standing still. That was until fellow students started to whisper and talk about how strange Mika looked like. Uh-oh. Second thoughts, let's talk about this outside, you decided in a worried voice, your right hand curling around his left wrist as you pulled him down the hall and towards the exit. Man, I really want to get caught. Chapter 56. After class. I don't mind where we go, as long as I'm with you. His notepad message made you blush, deepen considerably, your eyes widening due to the random words of romance. Okay, but this is not a date, got it? You clarified firmly, wondering where to take him and where he'd be entertained. This is just two people having fun, that's all. Mikael didn't say anything, simply staring at you with that serious expression of his and making you grow even more embarrassed. You couldn't tell what he was thinking, how he was feeling. Nothing at all. And it's normal fun too, no funny business. Let's just go to... You paused for a moment, hesitating about a subtle location. The local park. I mean, I doubt any kids and parents will be around and notice how out of place you appear to be. Your blunt comment didn't even seem to faze him. The stalker giving a silent nod and letting you pull him down the street. But seriously, if you wait inside the university like that, someone will spot you. Not to mention, it's reckless. You kept on scolding him, still feeling the need to make sure he understood the seriousness of said situation. I can always take them out. There's no big deal. That's not the point! You huffed after receiving another notepad response, your footsteps coming to a halt as you faced him properly. Besides, I know you're not that restless. Why'd you do that? I was waiting for you. Your face flushed bright pink after his next reply, not expecting such a direct answer. Waiting for me? But bitch, we knew he was waiting for us. How is that direct? Anyway, waiting for me, but you could have waited outside, like I told you to. Your confused tone switched into a sarcastic one towards the end, wanting to cover up the confusion as best as you could. I grew worried. The other students were coming out, and you weren't. Oh, right. You mumbled awkwardly, shifting from foot to hide your emotions. Well, I had to make up an excuse as to why I couldn't visit my friend in the hospital to my other friends. After all, it's not like I can just tell them I'm going to hang out with a local serial killer, whom also happens to be a stalker as well. Mikael nodded, and so the two of you resumed your journey to a nearby park, the awkwardness fading from the atmosphere almost altogether. What the conversation feels so natural between you both just now. Your cheeks heated up as you refused to look at him in the eyes. Look him in the eyes, Even when reaching said park. What were you supposed to do now? Should you talk about something? But what would you talk about? Maybe if he had any other interests or things he found fun besides the whole slaughtering thing. How would you bring it up, though? It's not like you could just ask him outright, could you? Were you just overthinking this? Probably. So, you sat down on one of the swings and finally looked at him, feeling even more nervous when you locked eyes with the tall male. What do you like to do, Mikael? Do you have any, hobbies or interests? Being by your side, being together, being close to you. Okay, I get it. You stopped him from writing his response after you saw the first few lines, pushing the notepad down and averting your eyes with another embarrassed expression. Alright, I get it. Is there anything else you like to do during your free time, besides hanging out around me 24/7? You inquired curiously. You stiffened up when the stalker brought out his knife and toyed with the edge of it, looking almost thoughtful as he twirled the weapon against his fingertips. Was he contemplating which interests he had, or was he thinking about slaughtering more innocent lives after you asked him such a harmless question? You didn't know, but what was he doing with it? Tilting his head side to side, Mikael slowly shook it, continued to mess around with the knife and causing you to feel more and more on edge. What was he thinking? Was he doing this on purpose? Not to mention, that is reckless. Besides, I know you're not that reckless. Why would you do it? And then some about recklessly. Yeah. Anyway. Can't you put the knife down? You reached out and clasped your hands over his worriedly, not acknowledging the sharp pinprick you'd received on one of your fingertips. You might accidentally injure yourself with that. He merely placed one of his hands over yours, holding your left one out wide to show that you'd been hurt instead of him. Tiny trickles of blood slithered down your cut finger faintly, not realizing until Mikael pointed it out. Shit! You panicked in a high-pitched tone, feeling anxious. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel bad for anything. Mikael shrugged, as if to say he didn't care about the subject regardless, and wrapped an arm around your waist. Wanted to help. Excuse me, my English has been bad. Wanted to help to stop your finger from slightly bleeding as quickly as possible. But hey, at least we can walk home together. And your voice died out when you said that, suddenly feeling incredibly shy, because not only were you two walking home together, but Mikael was also holding you close to his side by your waist. This strangely sweet embrace caused your flustered state to increase exponentially, the pale-faced male forcing you to stay close. Still, this is exactly why you shouldn't play with knives, you muttered, trying to validate your behavior and avoid his worried stare. He stopped again, and his next retort made you flick your head in annoyance, not liking his answer. I can play with knives. You're the one who got hurt. Be more careful. I'm fine. You grew defensive and decided to walk again. It's whatever. So don't worry about it or anything, okay? After he said that, Mika stopped you from moving, obviously concerned over your well-being. We need to get you home. Don't argue with me. This is non-negotiable. It's only a tiny cut. You spoke under your breath sulkily, disliking how you were being treated like some sort of child. I'm not a little kid. I was just caught off guard. The Shyster didn't even reply to your sour retaliation, instead snatching up your right wrist and tugging you down the street, whilst ignoring your surprised squeak of shock. Hey, what's your problem? You demanded to know once a minute or two had passed, pink dusting your cheeks. You're acting like I've been stabbed or something. This time it was your words that were the next reason Mika stopped walking next. The stalker forcing you against the stalker forcing you against a building's wall and placing both hands on either side of your head menacingly. Although he wasn't saying anything and staying silent like usual, his answer was as clear as day. The two of you were going home, and the two of you were going home right now. With a defeated sigh, you allowed Mikael to intertwine your right hand fingers with his and escort you the rest of the way home. And the walk back being quiet and oddly calming. Why was he overreacting to such a degree? Honestly, just because you were momentarily freaked out by said cut doesn't mean he had to be. Welcome back, mi amor. Hannibal greeted you after you entered the house, his tone polite and pleasant. I trust you had an enjoyable time with Mikael. You bit your lip, not knowing how to answer properly, and unintentionally becoming apprehensive, feeling timid. Thank you. We had a nice time together. We hung out at the park and everything, right, Mikael? Without joining in the conversation, Mikael gripped your wrist and held it up aggressively, wanting Hannibal to see the trickle of blood and for him to connect the dots. Oh my. Hannibal murmured intently, taking a hold of your left hand and making you blush due to his thumb and forefinger brushing over your hand's skin. You've been cut. Yeah, no kidding. You sighed a second time, not wanting to make a big deal out of such a small injury, and grew even more embarrassed. I think Mika is overreacting to some degree, though. It'll stop bleeding on its own. Be that as it may, we wouldn't want any bacteria or unnecessary germs affecting your delicate skin now, would we? Hannibal's fingers curled around your left hand's wrist whilst he spoke, his smooth tone and warm expression making your heartbeat quicken. Don't you agree? Actually, I don't agree. Because if this was me in real life, I'd probably have cuts all over my body. Like, just imagine you probably, like, you fell and you scraped your knee against, like, the sidewalk. Because I'm pretty sure everyone, like, you know, at some point walked, you know, outside on the curb or something like that. And you accidentally fell and you scraped your knee. Imagine if we did that. Bro, we're going to have a whole, like, the Marines are going to be called, police, 3,000 hospitals are going to be on our way, bro. Just, oh my goodness. We're going to have a whole specialized hospital, killers, thingies. We're going to have a whole personal hospital. A whole personal hospital. I'm serious, but how much they overreact, I wouldn't be surprised, like, at their own personal, like, hospital. Anyways, chapter 57, Get Out. Ahem. I guess. You gave entirely, feeling too emotionally exhausted to continue resisting. So, why don't we head into the bathroom and then we can take care of it from there. Hannibal intertwined your left hand's fingers in his after holding your wrist and carefully avoiding said cut, not wanting to cause you any unnecessary pain. Really, all I have to do is place a band-aid over it. You attempted to reassure both him and Mikael with a comforting smile, trying to calm both of them down. Then again, Hannibal didn't seem the need to calming down. There was something I wanted to ask you, actually. Hannibal brought up with a respectful attitude, the two of you walking down the hallway and upstairs towards the bathroom. Unbeknownst to you, Mikael had brought out his kitchen knife again and was gripping it tightly, resenting how Hannibal had ripped you away from him. Desperate times called for desperate measures. And just what makes you think I want to help you, huh, fuckface? A familiar voice drawled out, a devilish dream demon leaning against the hallway and facing Mikael with an utmost of hate. After all, Freddy paused for a moment, his dark gaze growing even colder. You're the one who slipped her those stupid Hyposil pills. And then basically this is a point where last bid, whenever I was reading this, basically he was like, what do you have there, honey?
What do you have there? And
He got very aggressive. And luckily we had Mikael on our side, and we took the Hyposil pills because we're material girl. Anyway, he got very like a cat, pretty much, just much more aggressive. Yeah. Anyway, Mikael merely tilted his head like he usually did, not understanding why Freddy was so bothered by the stalker's previous actions. Why am I so fucking bothered? Are you that stupid? Are you as really dumb as you look? The burnt male sneered bitterly, still obviously sour. Duh. Like, he hurt our mom in this story, and you really think he's smart? Well, let's not hate on my boy too much, but still. There's some, like, certain things there. You know? Whatever. This isn't about me. We need to do something. Fast. You know what I'm talking about. Freddy immediately ripped the notes to shreds, giving a curt nod and crossing his arms soon after. What do you propose we do then? As much as I might want to, we can't scare her again like on Wednesday night, fucking moron. The dream demon couldn't resist using his sharp tongue to insult Mikael towards the end, rolling his wicked green eyes as he awaited the silent man's answer. I think you know what we should do, Kruger. Yeah, I'm not stupid unlike you. Freddy gave another one of his abrupt nods before crumpling the note up with his palm of his left hand and tossing it to the ground. However, Mikael quickly snatched it up off the ground and slid it into his boiler suit's pocket, clearly not wanting a certain psychiatrist to find out about their little plan. But first, the dream demon pushed himself off the wall and decided he had enough of the stalker's company, bored by this point. You, on the other hand, were standing opposite the dark-haired male and letting him lightly press a warm, wet flannel against your stained finger, feeling incredibly shy as you had no idea what to say. I do apologize if that stung a little bit. Hannibal broke the silence and softly placed a band-aid around your finger, shooting you a sweet smile. Oh, no, don't worry. I would probably, like, legitimately cried on purpose to make him feel even extra bad. like fake cry, just like, ah! Anyway, you immediately shook your head and smiled back, not wanting to seem sulky. I hardly even felt it. Anyway, what was the thing you wanted to ask me? Is there something you needed? I was just going to ask if you'd like to accompany me to the local library tomorrow morning. That's all. Hannibal's kind offer caused you to bite your lip, suddenly remembering your promise. And then basically she made a promise to Norman that she would hang out with him, blah, 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 blah. I think not much of the story. We don't really hang out with Hannibal a lot, which makes me kind of sad because I wish we could hang out with Hannibal a little bit more. But I don't know if he'd like eat me and stuff, so I don't want to risk that. Anyway, that's really nice of you to offer, but you trailed off timidly, unable to be assertive and just to tell the truth to the psychiatrist. Do you perhaps have other engagements? He politely suggested, giving your left hand a gentle squeeze before releasing his hold on you altogether. Yeah. You felt awkward, but it's not like you could lie or anything along those lines. He just seen right through you. I promised Norman I'd spend all day tomorrow with him. I'm sorry to have to reject, but I see. Hannibal dipped his head and kept up his pleasant persona. Both of you leaving the bathroom while continuing to chat. There's no need to apologize, Wyan, dearest. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. However, that was my mistake. Wyan! An excited voice called your name as a certain someone bounced towards you and flung their arms around your body. You're home? Are you ready to spend time together tomorrow? Are you? No. You deliberately teased, ruffling Norman's hair and letting out a light laugh a second later at the worried gleam in his eyes. I'm messing. Of course I'm ready to spend time together tomorrow. Don't scare me like that. Norman huffed unhappily, looking down cast and actually believing that you weren't ready. But it was funny. You airily laughed a second time as you broke the hug and headed towards the bedroom by yourself, going to get changed into some nightwear. Now I'm gonna get ready for bed, so wait for me here, yeah? So I can sleep with you again? His eyes lit up as he clapped his hands together enthusiastically, pleased by how things were turning out in his favor. Sure, I guess. You decided without thinking, growing defensive a second later. But no funny business. Understood? Understood. Norman nodded obediently. I would never. Okie dokie. See you in a minute or two. You hummed as you entered your bedroom, stiffling up a second later. Oh. Why are you in my bedroom? You questioned furiously, holding one hand on your hip and scowling in his general direction. Because I believe you and I have some unfinished business. Freddie spoke smoothly, dragging his gloved hand down the wall and leaving a scratch mark. Oh yeah? Well, I don't think so. You retaliated sassily. What's your problem then? Is this about the hypocil, or is it something else? You jumped a little when he disappeared and reappeared behind you, curling his arm around your body before yanking you into his chest. How adorable. He wickedly cooed. You think it's just because of the hypocil? Well, what is it then? Your cheeks glowed a heavy pink once his claws danced their way up your side and then grasped your shoulder, his other hand doing the same. I just don't fucking get it. I don't fucking understand why you're spending so much time with the others. The demonic male's tone darkened as he spun you around and gripped your shoulders even tighter. You took those damn hypocil pills and spent time with Myers, hung out with the hockey punk, and even slept with Norman's bitch ass. You know what that reminds me of? Like, have you all heard of this show being like, yo, bitch ass? No one? Okay, I guess I'm the only one. If anyone understood that, you a real one. Anyway. And I can do what I like, so just lay off. You argued with narrowed eyes, trying to ignore your heated face and uneven heartbeat. Oh, you can you? Freddie purred evilly, holding the tip of your chin with his left hand's thumb and forefinger as he grew aroused by your festy attitude. I don't think so, baby girl. Why, and what's taking you so long? You were about to respond, but Norman opened the door and stepped inside, surprised by why Freddie was in the bedroom. Oh, well, you stumbled over your words as you tried your best to explain, pushing yourself away from the burnt killer. I was just about to get changed, so don't worry. What are you doing in here? Norman glared hatefully, clenching his fist and looking like he was about to lose control. Because I want to be, bitch. Freddie shot back with a bad boyish smirk, clearly wanting to rile him up. So why don't you just go and talk to mommy some more? Well, why don't you just leave? You're bothering her. Norman coldly snapped, still clenching his fist. I'm not going anywhere. The malicious slasher smugly responded, tugging you by your waist back to his side. So shut the hell up and fuck off already. You're the one who should be leaving. Oh, I don't think so, sissy boy. Just leave already. No, leave. Both of you, get out. Oh, crap. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Chapter 58. Nighttime dramatics. Oh, goodness. You yelled irritably, interrupting their quarrel and growing increasingly more tired. But why in? You, Norman, trailed off timidly, a tad bit shaken by your irritation. I need to get changed, you coolly pointed out, before pushing yourself away from the dream demon's side a second time and moving towards the wardrobe. So if you both wouldn't mind. Norman gave a hesitant nod as you gestured in the direction of the door frame and attempted to get the two of them to leave the room. I, for one, certainly wouldn't mind keeping you company while you got changed, baby girl. Freddie purred flirtatiously, riling Norman up once more and causing him to grow defensive. I swear to God, you muttered to yourself whilst pressing the tips of your fingers against your forehead, wondering what to do. Ah, right. Freddie, if you fuck off right now, I won't take the hypo. Sound good? No. I wanted to continue, but I'm gonna stop for a moment because I remember I used to say a lot like I swear to God, and a lot of people like always would be so against me saying I swear to God, because I used to be so annoyed. I used to say that all the time, and now I might say it. Oh my goodness. And a lot of people would hate me for that, and not in these videos, not in my YouTube channel. It's just way before I even started a YouTube channel. I don't know why, because it's swearing to God, but not everyone be like that, you know what I'm saying? Now it's a bit more normalized, but I swear back then, bro, it was so different. Oh my goodness, people used to tell me left and right. It was mostly people in my school too. It don't matter. And I even remember when a girl was when I say I hate you, she's like, that's a hateful word. I'm like, okay, now you know how much I hate you. Or hell, I don't know. I'm trying to censor my words. Hell no. Anyway, I just wanted to say that because I want to see if anyone relates to that, if anyone happened. If that happened to you, I'm so sorry that happened to you, unless you were trying to be very offensive to someone else. But I doubt it, because there's no hate like Christian love. Oh my goodness. Anyway, continuing on. Your response actually made the burnt male release a raspy laugh, amused by how you reacted to his seductive words. I like your style, he decided smugly, liking the sound of your answer and sticking his tongue out at Norman before vanishing into thin air. Finally, Norman hatefully mumbled, dislike shining from his eyes like the dark depths of the ocean as he clenched his fist. I can't stand that freak. Easy now. You tilted the tip of his chin with one hand, and that in turn caused his body to relax, his gaze switching from sorrowful to flustered. Freddie lives off of riling others up and purposely provoking them, but he's just such a jerk. Norman snapped childishly, gritting his teeth and showing his resentment completely. Come on, he's just doing it deliberately. You softened your tone and shot him a soothing smile before curling your other hand around his wrist, wanting to diffuse Freddie's malicious and mischievous actions as you guided him towards the door. You know that, right? I guess. He sulked sorely, acting like a clingy kid while he waited outside for you to finish changing clothes. Once you switched into a pair of PJs, you opened the door and jumped a little, not expecting Mikael and Hannibal to be waiting patiently alongside Norman. Ah, YN. Hannibal greeted you pleasantly, his expression one of warmth and tenderness. I take you're going to sleep now. Yeah, I'm exhausted. You told the polite male truthfully, mustering up the energy to say goodnight to them both. I wish you sweet dreams then, mi amor. Hannibal bid you good night and kissed the tip of your left hand like a true gentleman, shutting his eyes for a split second at the same time. Oh, thanks. You stumbled over your words as you had no clue how to answer, growing even more confused when Miguel coerced you into an obsessive cuddle. I hope you guys sleep well too. Thank you, my dear. Hannibal's smile widened at your reply, the psychiatrist half amused and half entertained by your bewilderment. That is very much appreciated. After the good nights had been finished, you and Norman went back inside into the bedroom. A lonesome yawn escaped through your fingers while you climbed underneath the covers. You're not really going to let Freddy back into your dreams, are you? Norman stood on the opposite side of the bed and clasped both hands to his chest, his eyes showing nothing but pure animosity. Oh, I said that right, I think. Proud of myself right now. He's not that much big of a deal. No, he's not that much big of a deal, Norman. You lightheartedly remarked. Just think about tomorrow, okay? We'll spend the entire day together, just you and me. Okay. He sighed in defeat, climbing into the bed with you and snuggling into your chest. But he better not try any funny business. I swear. I'm sure I can handle him. You dryly spoke, wrapping your arms around him while nuzzling onto the side of his neck. Just take these hyposil pills and focus on avoiding him, alright? Norman nodded and took the bottle of pills from you like last night, grabbing a glass of water from his bedside table as he swallowed said pills. Don't they take a full hour to kick in? He asked timidly. Yeah, why do you ask? You wondered out of curiosity, rubbing his back, whilst you tried your best to be somewhat comforting. Then would you mind Norman bit his lip and tried to ask you something, but didn't have the courage, falling silent a few seconds later, as he leant his head against the pillow. Would you like for me to stay up with you? At least until we're sure the hyposil pills have definitely kicked in. You gently offered, guessing what his request was right off the bat, and hugging him just a bit tighter. Oh, yes, please. He gazed at you with a hopeful expression and looked a lot happier, relieved that he wasn't going to be alone. So, for the next hour, you and Norman discussed different things, sharing hobbies, wondering what to do tomorrow, and slowly getting to know one another a bit more. It was somewhat calming in a strange way. All things considered, you snuggled down against the comfy bed springs and cushiony pillows contentedly. The shy person lowering your suspicions whilst he spoke in a continuously cute manner. Did he always speak so cheerfully, or was it only around you? Truth be told, you honestly couldn't answer. It was almost as if he rarely got the chance to share his thoughts and talk naturally. All right, Norman. You quietly spoke under your breath, tapping his nose and therefore getting his full attention. I think a full hour has passed now, and I'm pretty sure you can catch some sleep. No, I can't have. He panicked quickly, huddling into your cleavage as his eyes widening, compete in utter fear. That isn't fair. Hey, Norman, please calm down. You grew nervous about how worked up he was becoming, not wanting another meltdown to occur. Just think of tomorrow, yeah? You can even dream of it if you'd like, but sleeping takes so long. Norman complained unhappily, hiding his face before tears pricked down his pale cheeks. Trickled down his pale cheeks. It's only till the morning. You suppressed the urge to roll your eyes and instead faked a smile, hugging him closer. That's exactly how I would feel. So just think of all the fun things we're going to do tomorrow. We can do whatever you want and go wherever you want as well. I promise. Really? He insecurely questioned, looking up at you with a tear-stained expression and a pleading stare. Do you really mean it? I give you my word, you vowed loyally. Okay then. Norman was hesitant, but he agreed to sleep, the young male closing his eyes and unwillingly catching up on rest. Feeling relieved and a little bit jumpy yourself now, your own eyes fluttered shut as you succumb to the sweetness of sleep, feeling even more exhausted by this point. You sure took your fucking time. You jumped a little, not expecting the devious dream demon to be leaning up against the wall directly in front of you with his arms crossed. I can't wait to hear your excuse this time around, dollface. I said I wouldn't take the hyposil. You feistly replied, eyeing him with fake courage. Not tell you what I was doing beforehand. Well, you weren't fucking doing me. Ay. The mysterious male childishly complained, disappearing and reappearing behind you before holding your waist with his hands. Your eyes widened with shock. A surprised squeak slipping through your lips while he seductively pressed his mouth against your neck. Hey! You protested feebly, your voice switching from defensive to anxious. What are you doing? What? Freddie responded innocently. I missed you. Am I not allowed to? That's not what I was talking about. You sharply shot back, your heartbeat spiraling out of control once the kiss had taken place. You know what I meant. Do I? Because I don't think I do, he murmured in an aroused tone, amused by how het up you seemed to be. Mind filling me in, baby girl? Oh, my lordy lord. Oh, yuck. Oh my goodness, why did I do that? Oh my lordy. So, y'all, that was, a little bit, like that. I'm kind of a little bit disappointed. I'm not gonna lie that we can't hang out with Hannibal as much because my Hannibal guy, to be honest, as I read the story, we have like maybe certain areas where we hang out with Hannibal, but not a lot, as much as like Jason and Mikael. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of disappoints me a little bit because I want to see a little bit more of Hannibal, because there's not really much on like a good decent story that has like, just Hannibal in it, because every time I like find one, it's pretty odd. But I know there's some good ones out there, so I'm not gonna lose hope yet. Anywho, let me know what you guys think is gonna happen next. Let me know what you guys think of the story so far, by the way. If you know what I think so far, obviously, since this is my favorite story, I love it. I kind of wish there was a little bit more of Hannibal in there. What I also wish is that girl have, I don't know, I think she is literally is wanting to be a psychiatrist. I feel like she would have a bit more big brain, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes there are certain parts where I feel like she's just very thick-headed on that, can be natural, but at the same time, it's like one of those things where I think it should be pretty obvious. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, though. I'm really hoping you guys enjoy this series so far as much as I do. There is some, another separate book that is similar to this one, but way different. I'm not gonna lie, the other book, I didn't really like the sequel to it. I don't know, it's just, I don't know. I did like the, book one, though. The random, but there's a similar book to this. It is in, one of my lists on Wattpad in the description. Anywho, your girl's gotta go, sadly, cause it's late for me at this time when I'm recording this. Also, this video is already so long. I want to have the mentality to finish it on time this time and not have no more too many delays, because we cannot be having that every day, you know what I'm saying? Anywho, your girl's gotta go. Bye and peace.